Hi, everyone. My name is Marissa, and I'll be your host today for our webinar, Understanding Risk Management and Lifetime Services. Today, I'm joined by two excellent coworkers, Mike Elliott and Brian Young. Mike is our Director of Lifetime Services here in North America and has been with TGW for a little over a decade, all in the Lifetime Services team. And Brian is the Site Engineering Manager at one of our largest on-site services customers, leading the way for that team of about 30 people. I'm really excited for you guys to hear what they have to say today. As a quick preview, we'll be covering some really interesting topics today. So we'll be talking about the potential risks of DIYing your own maintenance, and then talk about how to unlock long-term success through our Lifetime Services team. So you can understand our offerings and the power of our partnership. And then, of course, we'll leave some time at the end for a Q&A. So with that, I will hand it off to Mike and Brian.
Hello all, welcome to this webinar, Understanding Risk Management and Lifetime Services. And as Marissa said, yes, we'd like to talk about, comparing doing it yourself to putting your trust into TGW and deploying lifetime services to your site. Now, when we talk about deploying LTS, there's not just our gold standard service of lifetime services on-site teams, where we deploy a team to your site that does everything and anything regarding engineering involving TGW equipment, but we also have field services which we can deploy to your site at a moment's notice, and these are skilled TGW trained engineers that can fix anything on TGW equipment. We also have a very detailed and very knowledgeable training department that can provide the skills and necessities not only internally for our team, so we can study and learn new technology, but also learn from any engineering incidents. And then we also have remote services, which is our hotline, which is our software and control support to all of these sites. And then obviously we have our spare parts services, which is we sell spare parts to service all of our equipment, and then obviously retrofit and extension upgrades. Whereas if you do reach maximum capacity or you do want to change to the system that you have deployed to your site, we can come in and give you consultation and guidance on where we think you need to be to hit your target rates. So about TGW, we're a global systems integrator. We offer highly automated, efficient and future-proof fulfillment centers. We offer complete packaging solutions from planning, realization and software, and all the way up to us, the lifetime services department. We end up being the end user with yourselves as the customer, looking after the longevity of the installation to ensure that we get the maximum we can out of this product. We are a charitable foundation-owned company, and in which entrepreneurial success and social responsibility are 100% in our focus. We're 4,400 employees globally, with 24 locations and offices worldwide, and we have a turnover of over $1 billion. So we have the backing there to make this work, and we have the backing to sustain our customers and keep their operations going. So let's talk about the life cycle. So when you decide to purchase equipment from TGW, you'll be heavily involved in the sales team, and then that will be through our stage gate process. You will then work with the realization team to install the equipment and commission the equipment on your site. Now, the relationship that you have with TGW compared to the relationship that you have with TGW as a whole, that is the first 2-3 years of the relationship. Post that, you have lifetime services, which is for the rest of the lifetime. We are the customer service, we are the support, we are here to provide whatever you need, one, to meet your business needs, and two, to ensure that your equipment is running all the time. So as I explained at the beginning, we have on-site services where what we can deploy is a fully skilled engineering team to your site, And what this team will take control of is all of the engineering related subjects to the installation that you have deployed. This includes spare parts, training, field service, if required, extra support, and then obviously a full team. We provide all of the equipment, all of the safety parameters, all of the spare parts storage. We have all of the solutions in place to make this a gold standard solution. Field service is there to support those customers that do like to not employ the on-site services. And what we can do is we could do yearly checks, audit checks. We could come in an emergency to fix your equipment. Our field service department works hand in hand with our training department to ensure that the right knowledge is deployed to sites. And then moving on to training services, we have a very well-developed training department that delivers excellent training to ensure that you have the knowledge. However, what we do here at TGW is we would recommend always to take the training along with field service so that you can combine the two, so you learn as you do. Remote services, we have a TGW hotline, which is a very well developed team of people sat in a location in Europe. And what they do is they're on call 24/7, and they are also proactively monitoring sites. Spare parts services based here in the US with our own warehouse here in the US, and we're able to deploy spare parts to our sites, reasonable cost in reasonable time. And then for the longevity of your system, when you design that system with our sales department and realization department, once you hit 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, your system is going to hit peak. It's going to hit the demand of the business that you're supplying. And you're going to need to look at changes, and you're going to need to make changes to that installation to constantly evolve what you have to meet your business demand. And that's where our retrofit and extension services comes in. So how do we unlock your long-term success? So I'm going to hand over to Brian here, and we're going to talk about stable site availability. And availability is how we measure our sites, how we measure site performance and equipment performance, and it's all targeted around availability. So over to Brian and I'm going to ask Brian a question here. Hey, Brian, 2 years now at Urban, biggest site TGW have done globally in Kansas City. What have you done to ensure that the site achieves availability on a day, weekly, monthly basis?
First off will be training the team, make sure the entire team, along with the customer, is trained and familiar with the equipment, making sure we have all the tools on site to complete any repair, spare parts included. And day to day, reading the reports, monitoring the output of all the equipment, making sure we're hitting all the KPIs across the board, and being transparent with the customer, excuse me, to know what their demands are, and we adjust accordingly to make sure that they hit their numbers on a daily basis, and just continuous process improvement, always improving the process, the way we do things, repairs, whatnot, to make sure that we hit the availability 24/7.
Perfect. And along with that, we maintain and measure top loss. So we do look at the top loss on the equipment on a daily and weekly basis to ensure that any issues that are arising, we put a stamp on very quickly, and we use data in that. So we have a system, a digital service that extracts all the data from the system and presents it to the LTS team in a format that's easily readable, that helps pinpoint issues very, very quickly. And then engineering, operations, issues are inevitable. Things happen. And to back that up, we have a fully fledged root cause analysis process with all of the tooling developed in-house, so that when there is an issue from an engineering standpoint, we fully investigate and we put the right actions in place to ensure that we can prevent this happening again. Things fail, and it's just how about extending that mean time between failure on a piece of equipment to help us achieve stable site performance levels. So now we're going to look at long-term reliability and how we achieve that. And I think We talked at the beginning of the call about do it yourself, and we talked about at the beginning of the call about what's the difference between deploying an LTS on-site team and what's the difference between doing it yourself. So when you partner with TGW and Lifetime Services to deploy an on-site team, what you get is the full backing of TGW as a company deployed to your site locally. That's the most important factor. So if we start outwards and move in, along with the digital services that we spoke about previously, we have competency centres globally that help support the on-site services. So any learnings, any new information, any new equipment, all the knowledge that's gathered and gained in other units and other areas of the globally is always transferred over here to the USA. And at the same time, we also bring in all of your spare parts and all of your maintenance planning, which is all done through our computerized maintenance management system, which is done through a QR code module, easily accessible by mobile phone, so that it takes 30 seconds to 2 minutes to generate work reports, close them down, sign off maintenance. So not only can we do the work, we're quick and efficient in the way we do it. And then at the same time, we structure our team so that they're self-reliable. We have certain skill sets on site that are able to support the customer's needs. So we can provide site engineering managers like Brian, and then we can delve down into the team. We can provide software expertise on site instead of remote support. We can also provide controls experience on site. And then we can also provide top mechatronic technicians to enable us to tend to maintenance demands and issues on site as they occur. The goal of the system is always to be proactive, and the goal of the team is always to be proactive. We don't wait for things to happen. We see things happening or about to happen, and our goal is to get there first before they impact your business operations. And that's the difference when we come to do it yourself versus TGW LTS. We have a buy-in with you and with the customer, and we're there to stand side by side with you as the customer to ensure that your business goals and your daily operational goals are pushed through so that you can achieve your demand for your customers. It's a partnership approach, and that's how we take this through LTS. And if you can speak to previous customers and the customers that we work with now, I think they would fully accept that we are a good partner and we do give that partnership approach.
Yeah, Brian, maybe you want to share a little bit about some of the data your team is using on a daily basis to ensure long-term reliability.
Right, some of the data we use is for top loss. We look at the top hitters for faults on a various piece of equipment. We monitor those daily. We'll take the top 5, top 10, and assign those to certain engineers within the team, and they'll own that process. They'll make improvements, record all the data, share it with the team, and then we also share that information with other sites so they can make the same improvements across TGW instead of just keeping it all in-house. We also look at the uptime and downtime versus the runtime. And like Mike said, being proactive, if we see things that are starting to become an issue, we'll address them ahead of time so that the building's not down, the customer makes their goals, and everything keeps moving forward.
Excellent. All right, Mike, take us on to realization of true potential.
So realization of true potential. So this is, how does TGW unlock your goals as a business to help you achieve success with your customers through the grocery industry, through the fashion industry, and through automotive industries and all the other industries that we service. So there's decades of TGW logistics experience. And when we talk about the teams and the services that we can provide from a Lifetime Services department, all of that decades of experience is behind those people operating in front of you on site as a customer, and also in the background supporting those teams deployed. And that's where TGW come in. And as I said, through Brian mentioned how he transfers his knowledge and his learnings through to different sites. That's how we operate. There's collaboration across the company and across the country of where we can learn and listen and transfer that knowledge. Along with this, TGW's a very special company where we do extensive research and development investment. TGW ensures that we put 50% or up to 50% of all of our EBIT each year into research and development. TGW puts back into its own company and it develops its products, not just new products, but existing products, so that we can meet your business demand over and over again. And with that research and development, that's when we come to state-of-the-art equipment. And if we take one piece of equipment by example, if we look at the Stingray that TGW provide to our customers, that started off at version 1 and it's now at version 4. And next year we will deploy the version Air, which has 40% less maintenance, significantly more economical to the environment, demands less energy, and is a real true piece of equipment that not only meets the business demand, but helps sustain things like the environment, and helps deliver customers true results. And partner of choice. This is really important to TGW. We don't just want to come to your site for 2 years or send a field service engineer or deliver you training and then walk away. That's not what TGW is about. We are there for the long-term relationship, lifelong support for the duration that you have TGW equipment. And that can be for whatever you need. We have the skill set, we have the people, we have the resource internally within TGW to help with whatever problem that you have. And that's the partnership that we want to develop. And then we want to make sure that you're fit for your future, so that as your customers' demand changes and as your business demands changes, and as the landscape changes through economic climate or your customers' economic climate, we can put forward solutions that can see what fit you best. And the foundation philosophy, it's an integral part of our DNA, and it means that we care about our customers, our employees, and our communities and our planet. So this is TGW. This is how we work. This is how we operate. As Marissa said at the beginning, and I'm going to ask Brian in a minute a question about partner of choice and how he's developed that with Urban. But I've been with TGW for over 10 years, and these are the relationships that I've developed with some pretty hefty customers over the years. And they truly value that partnership. And I'm looking forward to creating new partnerships with new customers over the next decade as well. But that's it on the partner of choice from me. I'm going to hand over to Brian now and say, hey, Brian, Urban, new customer for us in the US, in Kansas City. How did we develop that relationship in the first 2 years of being on site and before that when we deployed the LTS team? And also, how do we ensure that they see us as a long-term partner?
I think the biggest thing is transparency, open and honest communication all the time. It's not always what either party wants to hear, but you have to be transparent and upfront and honest, and supporting each other. Some companies are new to automation, and we're here to kind of comfort them, get them through the woes, make them feel like the right decision was made to purchase automation, and then proving it. Meeting their goals every day, adjusting to how their business operates and runs, and vice versa. They support our team here and vice versa. And just the constant communication and support goes a long way in making everything smooth, less stress on the customer. They have their things that they need to focus on. They don't need to be focused on the equipment running. That's what we're here for. And it lets them adjust and look towards the future.
Yeah, it's great. Well, thank you both. That's kind of the meat of what we have to share, some great insights. 2 questions I saw come in. One is, do all of our services, even remote, have teams based in the US?
So all of our teams are based in the US, and including remote. However, remote services for us starts in the UK. So we have a global hotline that services Northern Europe and the United States. And then, however, obviously, as issues develop and as things get more complicated, we do have a very clear and strict time-based escalation plan that transfers over to level 3. And our remote service hotline in the UK has a very close relationship with our controls department and our software department in the US, where we have engineers, software and controls engineers on call, ready 24/7 to service. So it's a shared approach across 2 continents, but it works. TGW made this change over 12 months ago now, and it's proved to be extremely valuable for our customers. It's helped us increase our skill set. It's helped us increase our response time, and it's enabled us to increase our collaboration with our customers to develop that partner of choice and long-term relationship and sustain reliability on the sites.
Excellent. All right, the second question here is for Brian. So how often are you having different touch points with the customer?
Several on a daily basis. We meet at least once or twice a day at a bare minimum. And each month we have a monthly review where we collect all the data and present it back to the customer and talk through how the month went, what changes and improvements we can make for the next month. So it's just constant communication back and forth.
Yeah, that's great. All right, well, that's what we have for you today. Thank you everyone for joining. Hopefully gave a good perspective or first look into our lifetime services and how it might be a way to avoid some of the risk you might face if you take on maintenance all by yourself. So if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Brian or Mike here. And other than that, have a great day. Thank you.
Perfect. Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.